Fire Rescue Awards Review Board Banquet. It is an honor to have you all here as our guests. We have a great evening planned and we have a lot of great awards. We hold this banquet every year during Fire Prevention Week because of the significance of that particular week to the fire service. And as you all know, yesterday we had the opportunity to come together as a family as we gathered together at Van Dyke United Methodist to celebrate the homegoing of John Delbaugh. I was very much encouraged by the support of the community, also the police department, the administrative staff, but most especially the men and women of Tampa Fire Rescue. I'm honored. Thank you. I am honored to have the opportunity to be at the head of this organization that is filled with so many wonderful individuals. And tonight we have an opportunity to recognize some of our own heroes, but I consider you all heroes. Tonight we want to join together as a family. This is like our once-a-year family reunion. We want to have a good time, party responsibly, have a good time, dance, and really just enjoy ourselves as we recognize the special heroes for this evening. And I want to recognize my wife who puts up with me 365 days a year, Catherine, and thank you. I think we all know the term fire department widow, and I thank you for standing by my side. At this time, I would ask everyone to please stand for the presentation of colors, the Pledge of Allegiance, then the invocation and a special memorial presentation by Monsignor Higgins. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please allow us to share with you
the symbolism of this table that has been set for our fallen firefighters. The white cloth symbolizes the purity of their intentions to respond to their department's every call. The red rose is for those who made the ultimate sacrifice. They give their lives so others may live. The white rose is for those who witnessed and experienced the tragedy firsthand and are still with us. The slice of a lemon is on the plate to remind us of their bitter fate. There is salt on the plate that is symbolic of the tears shed by friends and family. The glass is inverted, for they cannot toast with us. The chair is empty, for they are not here. But let us not forget them. Let us never forget them. Let us pray. Lord, as we gather here this evening for the Tampa Fire Department's annual awards banquet, we thank you for all the firefighters who protect us and our property, who respond to our emergencies, and who often risk their lives in doing so. We ask your blessing on each and every one of them and their families. Keep them safe from harm, and may your angels watch over them as they unselfishly serve our community. Bless the sponsors of this event, the awardees, as well as the food we're about to receive. Amen.
The helmet that is placed in the chair was that of firefighter John Delbaugh, and I would ask all of you to join me now in a moment of silence in remembrance of John Delbaugh and his family. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, dinner will be served. We ask you to please enjoy the meal, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes to start the official program. Thank you. Start that off, it is my distinct privilege and high pleasure to introduce the best mayor in the city of Tampa, the best mayor in the state of Florida, the best mayor in the United States, a person who really is committed to public safety and loves her fire department, our mayor, Pam Iorio.
It is such a pleasure to be here tonight, and I hope you're having a good time, and you deserve it because you do such a great job. And I want to thank the chief for his leadership. He really loves all of you. I see it every time I talk with him. He cares about you, and he wants the very best for you. He's a great chief. I want to say something about this past week with the passing of your colleague and friend, John Delbaugh. I was so proud at his service by the outpouring of love and support by all of you. But you know what really was so moving was that on Monday of this past week, about 100 of you showed up at his home to put a new roof on his home and to do some other work that the house needed. It really showed how you are truly one family and how you care for one another. It was very moving, and how proud I was of all of you at the funeral and of our honor guard. We have a wonderful honor guard, and they make me proud every time they perform at any ceremony. You have a tough job. You're away from your families a lot. You miss a lot of family events because of your scheduling, birthday parties, or perhaps something you could be at your child's school or something important to your spouse. And you never know what kind of call you're going to go on. I've learned a lot about what you do over the past 3.5 years, and I really respect you for what you do. I truly believe we have the best fire department in the nation, that you all would go above and beyond at any time. So I'm here tonight to thank you for your public service and to let you know that I'll always be behind you. Whatever you need, all the tools you need to do the job right. But I think what you really need to know is how important it is that we all think of ourselves as of one big family. I saw that yesterday at the funeral service for your fallen friend and colleague. And it truly is important that we treat each other as a family, always willing to help one another and support one another when times are tough. And so tonight I'm here to say that I'm proud of you and proud of the work that you do and proud to be part of that large extended family. You have every right to wake up every day and be proud to put on that uniform, Tampa Fire Rescue. Thank you for your good work.
At this time, one of the highlights of our annual award banquet, the TFR Awards video.
Tampa Fire Rescue, what is the address?
Oh my God, Miss, I need help. It's a fire in the kitchen. I can't, oh Lord, it's filling the house up with smoke.
Okay, listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
I already have help on the way.
Well, there's no burglar about it. I can't walk. I can't walk. I'm disabled. I can't walk. Oh Lord, I need somebody to help me.
So we're already on the way, but you need to try to stay calm and you need to stay close.
Tell them to get the door down. Please come in and help me. Lord, there's so much smoke in here, miss.
Okay, I understand.
There's so much smoke in here. I can't see. I can't see, miss.
I understand. Just try to stay close to the floor.
Yes, ma'am.
When you breathe from down on the floor, not up where the smoke is.
Lord.
They're doing the best they can. They're getting this.
I'm back here. Help me, please. I'm back here. Help me, please.
Okay, if the smoke's that heavy in the house, you don't want to breathe in any more than you absolutely have to.
No, I can't see you. I'm back here. I'm right here. Please help me out. I'm right here. Please help me. I'm disabled. I can't walk.
Okay, where you at?
I'm right here. You're standing. I'm right here. I'm right here. And my mother's in the back room. I'm disabled. I'm disabled. I'm right here. I'm on the phone. You got my hand. I'm disabled. And raise it to you. Yeah, right, he's back. Okay.
They got him out.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill Wade, for putting that together for us. It's an honor for me to be able to introduce our MC for tonight. Our MC sits in the Bay News 9 evening anchor chair Monday through Friday and also co-anchors the 7 o'clock evening news with Al Rochelle every weeknight. She introduces you to extraordinary people in a featured piece called Extra on Everyday Heroes Reports that you can see weekly. And she's one of those rare Bay Area residents that is a Tampa native who went to high school in the Bay Area and also serves as a reporter during the week. Her broadcasting career began as she started her education, a BA from the University of Central Florida, and then she took a position with WKMG-TV in Orlando. From there, she went on to be a weekend anchor at WCSC-TV in Charleston, South Carolina, then on to WEYI-TV in Flint, Michigan. She has received several Associated Press awards, one for investigative reporting and also for excellence in reporting hard news. She's married to a Tampa Bay radio host and is heavily involved with St. Pete Humane Society. Our MC for tonight, Lee Moody from Bay News 9. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight. It really is my pleasure and my honor to be the MC for this wonderful event. It is my first year here. You guys have been so very welcoming, so thank you so much for making me feel so comfortable and welcome here tonight. As your fire chief mentioned, I'm not just the evening anchor, I also do a franchise every week. It's called Everyday Heroes, and it's where I profile local heroes in our community. And as I look out at everyone here from Tampa Fire Rescue, all the men, the women who put their lives on the line every single day, put themselves in danger every single day for us. You guys are what I call heroes every day instead of the everyday heroes. And we are very, very, very lucky to have you all in our community. So thank you so much. Now at this time I'd like to bring to the stage two special people from TGH. They're going to come up here to present a special presentation to you. Rhonda Miller and Carla Ruby from the Regional Burn Center at Tampa General Hospital. Please welcome them.
Each year, the staff of Camp Hopataki recognizes one Tampa Fire Rescue employee for his or her outstanding volunteer efforts during the week of camp. This year's award recipient is no different from his predecessors in terms of his dedication and commitment to our project. He has participated in Camp Hopataki for 10 years, selflessly serving as counselor to male campers of all age groups. In doing so, he has withstood bouts of pink eye, back injuries, and even a few beatings with a lightsaber along the way. Okay, maybe it was just a beach noodle, but for a bunch of 7- and 8-year-old little boys that are Luke Skywalker wannabes, it was definitely a lightsaber. These aforementioned incidents have given him the distinct honor of being our camp bubble boy, as we've needed to encase him in a protective shield as a means for camp survival. On a more serious note, it is because of his exceptional leadership skills that he was selected to attend the International Association of Firefighters National Children's Burn Camp last month in Washington, D.C., and was chaperone to our 16-year-old camper and Jacksonville resident, Cassie Knoll. For the two of them, this was undoubtedly an opportunity of a lifetime. Allow me to offer you insight into the significance of camp and their recent trip in the words of Cassie. I never realized that I wasn't the only one to get burned. Sure, I guess I knew that by attending Camp Hopataki, but I never knew there were so many others across the United States and even from Canada. The National Burn Camp opened my eyes and made me see that it was about more than just me. About our awardee, Cassie goes on to say, he was very patient with everyone, but especially me. I liked to run off a lot, but he was always looking out for me and always there for me when I needed him, especially when I bumped my head on the bus, spilled a drink in my lap, and even when I wiped out down the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. I was so embarrassed. It is evident that the impact tonight's honoree has on the community extends far beyond his nearly 3 decades of service as a firefighter. His gifts of patience, kindness, and understanding are not only an asset to the residents of the city of Tampa, but have also positively influenced a community of young burn survivors. Most importantly, it is his role as counselor, mentor, and friend that has left an indelible impression on the lives of our campers and why we commend his efforts tonight. So it is with great pleasure that we present the award for Outstanding Volunteer for Camp Hopataki 2006 to your brother and our friend, District Chief Gary Howcroft.
Now we're going to move on to the awards presentation. Some more hardware to hand out, and as I said, Fire Chief Dennis Jones will be helping me. He's going to be handing out the awards as I tell you a little bit about each award winner. First, start off with the C-Shift crews involved with the fire at Brits Mobile Home Park on West Hillsborough Avenue. If you can start making your way to the front, Engine 12, Engine 9, Truck 9, Rescue 8, and Chief 4. Late in the evening of April 4, 2006, the crew at Fire Station 12 was startled by a frantic and urgent pounding on the front door. A citizen was reporting a mobile home on fire next door, less than 100 yards away from the fire station in a mobile home park. The crew of Engine 12 transmitted the alarm and quickly responded to the burning trailer. The mobile home was more than half involved in fire. Outside the trailer at a bedroom window through thick black smoke, a frantic father was screaming for his children. Engine 12 knew immediately a rescue had to be made. Already wearing his protective gear, firefighter Mark Neal dove through the window where the father stood. Within moments, other firefighters were using a fire hose stream to knock down the advancing flames. The trailer was completely full of hot, blinding smoke. Moments later, and with the trailer still ablaze, firefighter Neal managed to find the first child in a bed. He picked up the boy and rushed the child out of the burning home. Unfortunately, this child passed away on scene. Firefighter Tim Fultz, helping with the search, found a second child and brought this tiny body outside. Paramedics provided medical care and promptly transported the child to the hospital, where unfortunately he eventually succumbed to his injuries. Nevertheless, the crews of Engine 12, Engine 9, Truck 9, and Rescue 8 are to be commended for a rapid response and very high level of professionalism in their attempts to save the lives of two small children. For their efforts, these crews are being given an esprit de corps. Firefighter Mark Neal, who placed himself in great personal danger at this fire, is being recognized with the Medal of Valor Silver. Congratulations, guys. The Tampa Fire Rescue Allegiance Award for 2006 goes to Steve Shiro of LLT Building Supplies. Mr. Shiro was instrumental in the donation of lumber and materials for 2 training simulators at the Tampa Fire Rescue Training Facility. The materials also helped to build a new maze used by recruits and seasoned fire veterans to develop their confidence and skills in search and rescue. Several instructors who teach firefighters survival skills wanted to build simulators that allow firefighters to practice several very important skills. These simulators help firefighters learn the expertise necessary to avoid becoming entangled in wires or other debris found in a collapsed or burning structure. Additionally, at the Tampa Fire Academy, there's a 4-story training tower that was recently renovated. The search and rescue maze, which had been on the 2nd floor of this tower, had to be removed for the construction. The department formed a maze committee to design and construct a new maze once the tower renovations were complete. The committee designed a 3-level structure, 2 levels for basic confidence building. The 3rd level would have advanced stations for entanglement aversion. With design in hand, the maze committee approached Steve Shiro with a long list of needed supplies for construction. As everyone knows, with Florida's recent history of hurricane activity, the price of lumber has risen dramatically. Mr. Shiro was able to assist Tampa Fire Rescue in meeting their budget, and the construction of the maze was completed. Thanks to the assistance of Steve Shiro and LLT Building Supplies, these mazes and simulators are available and regularly used for firefighter training. Thank you so much, Steve. At this time, we'd like to make a special presentation. An event like this year's awards banquet requires the dedication of a hard-working group of people. The devoted group that puts together this banquet is called the Tampa Fire Rescue Awards Review Board. Each year, they commit their time, their energy, passion to this cause, and we thank them for this wonderful evening. Tonight, though, we want to recognize an individual who is actually not a member of this board. This individual has dedicated a lot of time and effort to this event, and without them, a symbol of the evening that many of us have come to covet would probably not be here. We would like to recognize Janice Eastburn. And Janice, would you please come forward? Janice has worked at the Tampa Fire Rescue Communications Center for many years and is one of the department's unsung heroes in the 911 call center. For the past 6 years, Janice has committed countless hours of her own time to design and create the table centerpieces that are given away each and every awards banquet. Months in advance, Janice decides what the theme will be, makes all of the arrangements for the artwork, and decides how it will be displayed. As the banquet nears, she usually sets up shop in her home and with the help of her husband and daughter assembles the table decorations. As you can imagine, this is not a 1 hour or even a 1 day project. Although there have been times when she has received help from the dedicated staff of public education, Janice has shouldered the majority of the load. She does this because she's a dedicated member of Tampa Fire Rescue and wants to contribute to an event that she truly loves. Janice has created these table decorations without compensation or commendation. So tonight, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank Janice Eastburn and her family for all their hard work and their dedication. Thank you, Janice. Our next presentation is from the Tampa Firefighters and Paramedics Union, IAFF Local 754. This presentation will be made by Union President Larry Parker. Please welcome him.
The firefighters and paramedics that work with Tampa Fire Rescue live, eat, and sleep in their fire stations for a full 24-hour shift. Our mayor, city council have made great strides in improving the living conditions at many of our fire stations. But recently, one city council member went above and beyond the call of duty when he arranged for Rooms to Go and several other businesses to donate new bedding to every fire station. Councilmember Kevin White, could you please join us up here? For those of you who did not hear about this, Kevin arranged for more than $50,000 worth of new bedding to be delivered so every Tampa fire station could have new pillow-top mattresses. His efforts saved the taxpayers money and helped to improve the living conditions and the morale at Tampa's 22 fire stations. Kevin, on behalf of all Tampa firefighters and paramedics, please accept this small token of our appreciation.
Congratulations, Kevin. Now, would Mr. Wesley Russell of Publix please start coming up front? On June 18, 2006, fire crews from Tampa, Temple Terrace, and Hillsborough County responded to an overturned gasoline tanker truck at Cross Creek Boulevard and Morris Bridge Road. Fire crews had to prevent the truck's load of nearly 10,000 gallons of gasoline from leaking and igniting. Unfortunately, the truck driver only suffered minor injuries. But dealing with an overturned tanker full of gasoline can take anywhere from 5 to 8 hours to safely clean up and pick up the mess. During this entire emergency, firefighters and other emergency responders are in their full protective gear, and they have to stand near the vehicle ready to spray fire-suppressing foam. This is a hot and exhausting job that requires frequent crew rotations and lots of water for the responders to drink. Tampa Fire Rescue crews do carry a limited supply of coolers with bottled water, but that supply would have been quickly used up during this lengthy operation. The tanker overturned in the street in front of a Publix store. Residents had some access to the store, so it did remain open throughout this event. Mr. Wesley Russell is the manager of this particular public store. Mr. Russell could see the severity of the situation, and without being asked, he came outside and offered his assistance. Throughout the course of the day, his store provided emergency crews with ice, cases of bottled drinking water, and coolers to hold the ice and bottled water. As a final note, the Firefighters Union offered to pay for that water and ice. Mr. Russell refused, saying it was his contribution for the dedication and sacrifice shown by you local firefighters. For his service to Tampa Fire Rescue, Mr. Wesley Russell is being recognized with a Certificate of Merit Bronze. Congratulations. This next recognition is for a young man, Eugene Thomas. If he and his family could please come forward at this time. During the morning hours of December 13th, 2005, 9-year-old Eugene Thomas was awake getting ready for school in his house on West Nassau Street. His grandparents, with whom he lives, were still asleep. Eugene smelled smoke and discovered a fire in the bedroom. He awoke his grandparents, and all of them escaped the flames unharmed. By the time fire crews arrived, the house was about half involved in flames. Even as fire crews extinguished the blaze, young Eugene walked a couple of blocks to school. The house did not have a smoke alarm, and Eugene was probably unaware that his actions most likely saved the lives of his grandparents. The accidental electrical fire destroyed that home. Tampa Fire Rescue is proud to recognize the actions of Eugene Thomas by awarding him a Certificate of Merit Gold. Good job, Eugene. At this time, we need Tampa Police Squad number 111, Officers Carvella, Newberry, Reski, Levy, Bennett, and Jurjevich to make their way up front, please. The structure at 3001 West De Leon Street is a high-rise apartment building that houses elderly and disabled senior citizens. About 6 o'clock in the morning on October 11th, 2005, a fire broke out in an apartment on the 8th floor. Now, getting caught up in a situation like this would be very harrowing for young people, but it's especially frightening for seniors who have limited mobility. While several crews from Tampa Fire Rescue were responding to the alarm, members of Tampa Police Department Squad 111, Sergeant Frank Caravella, and Officers Gina Bennett, Ryan Jurjevich, Rob Newberry, Brian Reski, and Michael Levy arrived at the building. They went inside the building to assure that residents were evacuating safely, and they also tried to use a portable fire extinguisher to snuff out the flames. The quick actions of Squad 111 that morning went above and beyond the call to duty. They are each hereby awarded Certificates of Merit Gold. Congratulations to all of you. On June 28, 2006, another young man became a hero. Would Emmanuel Arango and his family please make their way up front to the stage? Emmanuel Arango was having a fun day at a summer camp. The campers were at a city pool when a 7-year-old swimmer began yelling for help. Without thinking about his own safety, Emmanuel swam to the aid of the boy in distress. When Emmanuel reached out to help the child in trouble, he was grabbed and pulled under the surface. Emmanuel managed to get away, then without hesitation, went back to the struggling swimmer, grabbed the boy by the arm, and pulled him to the safety of the side of the pool. All of this happened within a matter of seconds before the lifeguards could reach them. The lifeguards did pull the boys from the water and provided aid until paramedics could arrive. Thanks to the efforts of young Emmanuel Arango, the child who was in trouble is doing just fine today. For his quick and selfless actions, we are proud to present Emmanuel Arango with the Tampa Fire Rescue Medal of Valor Bronze. Great job, Emmanuel. At this time, if we could have the crew of New Tampa Fire Station 21 C Shift please come up front. On February 15, 2006, the crews of Engine 21, Captain Richard Dittman, Captain Tim Murphy, firefighter Phil Darnes, and firefighter Jason Luna, and Rescue 21 Lieutenant Robert Thomas, and paramedic James Trotner responded to a 3-vehicle collision on Portside Drive in New Tampa. Not only was there a person trapped in the wreck, but also a fuel tank on a car had ruptured, surrounding the victim in a pool of gasoline. Then, to the rescuers' surprise, they found that the car was still running. The crews worked quickly to make sure that that scene was safe. They shut off the car and placed a foam blanket over the gasoline to assure it did not ignite. The paramedics treated and helped extricate the trapped man. The seriously injured man was transported by the Aeromed helicopter to Tampa General Hospital. In addition to making the scene safe, the crew also prevented the gasoline from getting into and polluting a nearby estuary. For their quick actions in dealing with multiple hazards and providing high-quality emergency medical care, the crews of Engine 21 and Rescue 21C are hereby awarded an Esprit de Corps. Good job, guys. Thank you. Our next presentation is to driver engineer Luann Smith. So if Luann, you can please start coming up front. While off duty in the afternoon of April 18th, sitting at a red light in her personal vehicle at the corner of Bush and North Boulevards, Luann Smith witnessed a grinding automobile collision. A fully loaded sand-hauling tractor-trailer smashed into 5 vehicles. The sheer weight, speed, and inertia of the tractor-trailer drove one of the vehicles through a parking lot into a business strip mall. When the truck came to rest, it was sitting on top of a sports utility vehicle. Using her cell phone, driver engineer Smith could not connect quickly with 911. Instead, she called Fire Station 1, where the heavy rescue team of which she is a member is housed. Before 911 could dispatch the Station 1 crews, she told them what she was seeing. As fire and rescue crews were responding, driver engineer Smith took control of that scene. She began to triage the injured. Fortunately, none of the injuries were serious. She also used her cell phone to call an update to the responding heavy rescue crew. According to the fire officers in charge of the scene, driver engineer Luann Smith's actions were instrumental to the successful rescue efforts of such a large and chaotic scene. For her actions at the serious crash site, driver engineer Luann Smith is being awarded the Tampa Fire Rescue Certificate of Merit Gold. Good job. We'd now like to recognize Mr. Reardon, Miss Earl, and police officers Vasquez and Aspasia. Unfortunately, Miss Earl will not be able to be with us here tonight, but the rest of you, if you could come to the front, please, right now. On November 5th, 2005, about 1 p.m., traffic was flowing briskly across the Howard Franklin Bridge. The Jakupovic family, Muho, Amira, and their children Imra and Amar were on the bridge heading towards Tampa in their SUV. Suddenly, the vehicle went out of control, striking one of the retaining walls before crossing all 4 lanes of traffic. The vehicle then jumped the outside retaining wall and fell 14 feet into the waters of Tampa Bay. The 2 adults plus their young teenage son managed to make it out of the vehicle and to the surface of the water where a fishing boat picked them up. Still stuck in the vehicle about 9 feet below the surface of the water was 7-year-old Amar Jakupovic. The water was so murky the vehicle could not even be seen. Up on the Howard Franklin Bridge, a motorist, Carrie Dale Reardon of St. Petersburg, stopped and looked into the water. He heard that a child was trapped inside. Without regard for his own safety, Mr. Reardon dove headfirst into that water. On his first dive, he located the SUV. He came up, took a breath, went back down and entered the vehicle through an open window, grabbed the child, and came up to the surface. At the same time, another motorist on the bridge, registered nurse Kelly Earl, saw what was happening and jumped into the bay also. The unconscious child was placed onto a fishing boat along with the rest of those who'd been in the water and taken to land. During this time, Miss Earl was providing CPR to the child. At the causeway part of the Howard Franklin, Tampa police officers John Aspasia and Luis Vasquez also assisted Miss Earl with performing CPR on the child. Paramedics continued medical care and transported the child to Tampa General Hospital in very serious condition. Rescuers on scene noted that without the combined efforts of Miss Earl and Officer Aspasia, and especially the diving efforts of Mr. Reardon, the child may not have had any chance at all of surviving this wreck. Thanks to their selfless acts, young Amar recovered from his injuries. For their actions this fateful day last November, we are proud to award Miss Earl and Mr. Reardon with Tampa Fire Rescue's highest civilian award, the Medal of Valor. Tonight, we also recognize Officers Especia and Vasquez with a Certificate of Merit. Congratulations to everyone involved. Thank you. And if firefighter John Snodgrass is now able to come up here and join us up front, please. On the evening of October 28, 2005, firefighter John Snodgrass was off duty and attending the Halloween event at Busch Gardens. While he was standing in line with his girlfriend, a park employee announced that there was a fire in the haunted house and all the guests were instructed to evacuate. Firefighter Snodgrass identified himself and proceeded into the haunted house. He located a portable fire extinguisher. Some furniture on a set in the haunted house was burning. Without the benefits of personal protective equipment, John Snodgrass and an unidentified park employee used portable fire extinguishers to snuff out the flames. The actions taken by firefighter Snodgrass prevented the fire from spreading. His actions helped assure the safety of the public and prevented further property damage. For his actions, firefighter John Snodgrass is hereby awarded the Medal of Valor, Silver. Congratulations. And at this time, with the firefighters involved with the offshore ship fire last October, Chief Ellers, Captain Costello, firefighter Skinner, and firefighter Mitchell Smith, please come to the front. On October 5th, 2005, Tampa Fire Rescue received a call from the United States Coast Guard requesting assistance for a ship fire. The vessel was located about 90 miles offshore in the Gulf of Mexico, and there was some question if the ship's crew was even still on board. Tampa Fire Rescue's Chief Scott Ellers, Captain M.G. Costello, firefighter Steve Skinner, and firefighter Mitchell Smith, and a minimal amount of firefighting equipment were picked up by a Coast Guard helicopter and flown to the scene. Then, using the helicopter's rescue basket, the 3 Tampa firefighters were lowered onto a Coast Guard vessel. From the Coast Guard vessel, they went to the burning ship. Captain Costello, along with firefighters Smith and Skinner, then conducted search and rescue activities throughout the entire ship, covering all compartments and confined spaces. The waters of the Gulf of Mexico were incredibly rough that evening. Despite all those challenges, this crew had completed their task in just about an hour. No one was found on board the burning vessel. The actions and efforts of this crew were of the highest quality. For this, we award them each a Medal of Valor, Silver. Good job, you guys. And now we get to the big one, Firefighter of the Year. But before we get to that, we want all former firefighters of the year. Please stand at this time and be recognized. We have 4 candidates. They're all Firefighter of the Year or Firefighter of the Quarter, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one, starting with Lieutenant David Dittman. He's been a member of Tampa Fire Rescue since August of 1997. To date, the second-generation Tampa firefighter paramedic has had a very distinguished career. During his duty days with Tampa Fire Rescue, he serves as a paramedic field training officer. In this capacity, he serves as a trainer and a mentor to those just starting out in the profession. He's involved with new hires at Tampa Fire Rescue from the first day they're hired by sharing his time and expertise as a coordinator of the Tampa Fire Rescue recruit class. The recruit class is a 4-week orientation all newly hired Tampa firefighters must successfully complete. During this class, seasoned professionals such as Lieutenant Dittman hone the recruits' fire, rescue, and paramedic skills. Lieutenant Dittman also serves the city as a member of the Tactical Medical Response Team, or TMRT. Members of the TMRT receive specialty training to deal with unique and challenging emergencies such as water rescues and law enforcement tactical situations. During his off-duty hours, Lieutenant Dittman continues to serve the community. His daughter Lee receives medical care at the Shriners Orthopedic Hospital in Tampa for a rare bone disorder. Lieutenant Dittman and his wife Ellen work to support the hospital by conducting fundraisers and supporting events conducted by the hospital. Recently, the hospital hosted a National Disability Championship in which hundreds of children with orthopedic challenges competed in Olympic-type events. These young athletes and their families came from throughout the United States and from overseas. Lieutenant Dittman coordinated dozens of Tampa Fire Rescue paramedics who volunteered to provide medical standby at those events. For those reasons and many more, we believe that Lieutenant David Dittman is more than deserving to be recognized as a Tampa Firefighter of the Quarter. Congratulations. Our next candidate, Tampa Fire Rescue Captain Morris G. Costello, has been with the department since 1983. Apparently has a lot of fans. And he's currently assigned to Truck 1 on the B shift in downtown. On October 17, 2005, about 9:30 in the morning, Captain Costello and his crew responded to the Port of Tampa for a man who'd fallen and was severely injured inside of a ship. On scene, Captain Costello and his crews worked their way down into the bowels of that ship. The man was located deep inside the vessel. The stairs and the passageways in this part of the ship were very narrow. As part of the rescue team provided the medical care and placed the injured man into a metal carrying basket, a plan had to be developed quickly, yet safely, to remove him. Captain Costello coordinated efforts with shipyard workers and other emergency responders on scene. Outside the vessel, rescuers established a landing zone for the Aeromet helicopter. The ship was sitting up on dry dock. Iron workers were directed to cut a hole into the side of the vessel through which the patient could be passed. Once outside the vessel, a shipyard crane was attached to the steel basket in which the patient laid. The crane then smoothly lifted the basket with the patient and one rescuer into the air, landing them on the dock. Care for the seriously injured man was then transferred to the medical helicopter crew. This rescue unfolded under the watchful eye of several news helicopters. The professional actions of the entire team were seen live on national television news stations CNN and MSNBC, as well as the local news, and their actions reflected positively on the city and on Tampa Fire Rescue. This alarm is just one example of Captain Costello's leadership and professionalism. Captain Costello was recently tasked to develop a new car technology training class for the Fire Academy. Captain Costello worked with firefighter Steve Skinner to research and organize a class on the challenges and the dangers faced by rescuers when dealing with modern vehicles that have multiple airbags or use hybrid drive technology. For these many actions and many others conducted over his 22-year career, we are proud to recognize Captain Morris G. Costello, Tampa Firefighter of the Quarter, 2006. Congratulations. For 20 years now, Chief Sean Carroll has served with Tampa Fire Rescue. He's held the positions of firefighter, paramedic, and rescue lieutenant, and currently he works at fire headquarters in the rescue offices. In addition to his regular duties, Chief Carroll oversees the candidate physical agility test that's conducted for applicants to Tampa Fire Rescue. This physical agility test is administered to all of those who aspire to become members of the department. The test is a combination of physical assessments that help determine an applicant's suitability for employment. Chief Carroll also is a member of the firefighter applicant interview panel. After successfully completing the physical agility test, the next step for a firefighter candidate is to appear before this panel to answer a series of predetermined questions. Being a member of this panel is a voluntary position that meets under the guidance of the Fire Rescue Personnel Chief. The goal of this panel is to evaluate prospective employees and to gauge their potential for future success with the department. In previous years, Chief Carroll has also served as an EMS Skills Lab Coordinator and worked as an instructor at the Tampa Fire Academy. He's also helped the community at large by participating in fundraisers for worthy causes. Chief Carroll's most recent contribution was his participation in the 2006 Ride for Survival. This was an 1,100-mile bicycle ride across the whole state of Florida. The purpose of this 12-day ride was to promote awareness of seatbelt usage, raise citizens' awareness to the dangers of driving under the influence, and to raise money for the SAFE program. Paramedics in the SAFE program go into high school driver's education classes to graphically illustrate the dangers of impaired driving. Chief Carroll's supervisors tell us he's an exceptional example of enthusiasm and professionalism. For these reasons, we're proud to recognize Chief Sean Carroll as a Tampa Firefighter of the Quarter 2006. Good job. And our last candidate, Lieutenant Jimmy Thomas, has been with Tampa Fire Rescue since 1994. He was named Firefighter of the Quarter because, as his chief officer noted, Lieutenant Thomas demonstrates on a daily basis the quality of leadership and commitment to our profession indicative of an outstanding professional. In addition to being a firefighter and paramedic, Lieutenant Thomas is also certified in aircraft rescue and in firefighting. He's been called upon to assist other Florida fire departments with their promotional evaluations. Lieutenant Thomas also sits on the Tampa Fire Rescue interview panel. The interview panel helps the fire chief sort through the many firefighter applicants and hopefully identifies those that would best serve the residents of our community. As a member of the interview panel, Lieutenant Thomas has a great impact on the future of this department. Lieutenant Thomas is also recognized by his peers and supervisors as a competent and very caring paramedic. On September 26, 2006, a man was rescued from an early morning house fire. The victim was unconscious and not breathing. Lieutenant Thomas, wearing his full firefighting gear and air pack, provided the victim with mouth-to-mouth resuscitation until medical equipment could be brought to the patient's side. At risk to himself, Lieutenant Thomas placed the patient's needs above his own. Although seriously injured, the man did survive. We believe for these reasons and many others, Fire Rescue Lieutenant Jimmy Thomas is an excellent candidate for Firefighter of the Quarter 2006. And congratulations to all four. But we have to pick one. And now it's time for Firefighter of the Year. Drum roll. Our Firefighter of the Year for 2006, Captain Morris G. Costello. Captain Morris Costello, MG, as he's known throughout the department, is one of a kind. He never thinks a job is too big or too small. He puts his heart and soul into everything he does. He would never ask you to commit to any project without being right next to you completing that very same project. His commitment to any task is done with complete dedication, with the end result being nothing less than perfect. MG's passion for Tampa Fire Rescue, the men and women he works with, and the citizens of the city that he so proudly serves exemplify what it is to be a true professional firefighter. He is truly a respected leader on and off the job. Congratulations to our brother, MG. And besides that very lovely trophy he has right there, MG also gets this. Bill Curry and Danny Lewis of Bill Curry Ford will take him and several guests, so suck up now, on Mr. Curry's yacht for an all-day fishing trip. The awards committee gives him a $100 check, and he will carry with him the Krista Lum Trophy to be displayed as his designated station. So congratulations once again. Not done just yet, because an event like this, something this big and so well done, takes so many people involved, and it takes a lot of generosity, a lot of time, and a lot of hard work. So we want to give out special thanks now to very special people out there in the audience who have put in a lot of time and work to create a wonderful night for all of you guys. Starting with the committee, David Biblioni, Janet Casper, Debbie Lawton, George Lee, Michael Martinez, Tammy Miragoli, Johnny Primus, Russell Spicola, and William Townsend. Thank you guys. Without all of these people, this event would not be what it is. So thank you so much for your generosity and your hard work and time. Now, instead of hard work, it's time to play, because I'm going to hand this over to DJ Anthony Moran from Polo Entertainment. Bar is going to go back open, so let's party and celebrate. Thank you for having me here tonight. Have fun.
Thank you.